What's up guys, it's me Deshaun. We're back again with another video. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And without further ado, I was digging through the crevices of Twitter and I witnessed this video. So this kid apparently stole this guy's pants. Now to me, stealing pants is kind of crazy. Maybe stealing shoes, but stealing pants though, that's kind of like a very down bad thing to do. So this bold child, bold enough to steal a grown man's pants. I don't know how you steal someone's pants at a park. Maybe he had a spare because he was watching his kid or whatever. I'm not going to question the weird scenario, but it happened. But it seems as though things took a turn for the worst because this child refused to tell the man that he stole from where his parents were. Now he gave him a choice. You can get this ass whooping, or you could, show me where your parents are. He chose the ass whooping. So let's see how that played out. No, I'm not going to show you the guy actually beating this kid because I doubt YouTube would like that, but here are the pieces without the beating.
What'd you do?
He stole my pants from the park and ran, right? Tell him what you did. Tell him what you did.
Stole his pants.
Tell him how old you is.
Oh, I'm gonna take over, y'all.
He's 14 years old. I'm an old school dude. I don't even want to hurt this little dude. I want to take him home to his mama, but he won't tell me where he lives. Some people gonna think I'm wrong for this, but he's 14 years old, and this is why kids do this shit. You feel me? Would you rather go home or have a whooping?
That's a whooping.
He want a whooping. Come on, bro. I don't even want to do this shit, bro.
I'm sorry.
You gonna ever steal again?
No.
No?
Never in my life.
Never in your life? Now we good now. I'm gonna give you my number. You hear me?
Oh, yes, sir.
You call me. Listen, bro. Listen, stop crying. I'm gonna take you to the park. We gonna go hang out and stuff. You feel me? I'm gonna check on you, boy. We gonna get your grades up. You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me? I don't want you to go to jail. I started to take you to the police station. My debit card, my ID, my keys, everything was in there. Everything. For what? For nothing.
Now, I don't know how most of you would feel about this situation because I'm going to be honest with you. If somebody was beating my kid and it wasn't their kid, like a random stranger is beating my kid, I would be mad. I'd probably beat the shit out of the person who dare laid their finger on my child. Or even worse, and I feel like most people feel that way. So when you watch a video like this, it's very upsetting at first because you're putting yourself in that perspective like, man, what if this dude was beating my kid like this? It makes you mad. And most importantly, you do not agree with what you just saw in that video. Because honestly, who would? And you know what? This might sound strange, but after thinking about it for a little while, I can't really get mad at this video. And there's actually a lot of reasons for that. The first one being the fact that he simply just had a beating with a belt. Now, if this kid would have stole from any other person, an ass whooping would have been a blessing. Because most of the time, people will just beat you up or simply kill you. In other countries, if you steal from someone, they will literally cut your hands off. So just a whooping from a belt that this kid actually deserved, I really can't get mad at it because if a child stole from you and he's not letting you get in contact with their parents, and who knows, what if these are some expensive ass designer pants? You could obviously choose the easy way and get the cops involved, but you could potentially ruin this kid's life. Now, I don't know if you guys think I'm talking crazy or think that it's weird that I'm actually kind of like siding with the dude who beat this kid, but I want a lot of you to actually understand just how deep, just how important this situation actually is, and why this man, despite getting stolen from and doing something most of us wouldn't agree with, is a much better man than you'd originally think. You see, there's an issue when parents won't necessarily neglect their child per se, but they don't care enough about their child, or they're too lazy to actually raise them. And I feel like this is an elephant in the room that no one ever wants to address. Because you could argue, well, these actions that parents do shouldn't define whether or not they love their child. So everybody kind of turns this topic into a 50-50 and try to make it debatable because we all have our own personal way in how we want to raise our children. But at the end of the day, it's literally just avoiding accountability as their parent. Now, if you can't even raise your child to be a good person, then what are you really doing in the end? If your child has the balls to go out there and steal from a grown man, what does that say about your parenting? Like, really think about it. Like, let's say a 15-year-old, maybe a 12-year-old ran up to you and stole your pants. What would be the first thing that would go through your mind? You know what would go through my mind? Why the fuck is this child like this? You know, you could say, oh, well, he's probably stealing these pants because he needs them. But this is definitely not the case because this child has some pants on. Homeless people need clothes, they need pants, but they wouldn't dare run up to someone and try and steal pants off of them. Do you know how bold you'd have to be, especially as a child, to do something like that? And if you allow your child to act like this, that says one thing: you don't care about your child. And that's just the reality of it. You don't care enough to discipline them, because if you did care, you'd do your child a favor. Because guess what? If you don't discipline them now, and when they go out into the real world, they're gonna get eaten alive. And this is why Karens develop in men and women who go outside, believing that it's my way or the highway and they can get whatever they want. There might be some debatable pros that you could have by raising your child this way, but I honestly can't think of any. Because you're going to be dumping this poor, naive soul into a cruel world where we don't always get what we want. This kid was naive enough to think that he was going to get away with it. And I'm going to be real with you guys, this really does actually break my heart. Because in this situation, we look at this child and he's crying over getting beat. Because he doesn't get beat much. Because his parents don't care enough to beat him and discipline him and teach him the right things. This child was crying over a simple whooping and begging, saying sorry. A child that couldn't handle a whooping. Now, what if he would have encountered somebody else? Does that whooping even compare to a grown man beating you down with his bare hands? Probably leaving you with trauma and having you build up with anger for the rest of your life because you got overpowered like that? Does that whooping even compare to the possibility of this child not going home to see his mom again or his father? This innocent kid was crying over the pain of a whooping. But what about the pain of a grown man just beating his fucking ass? It's not fair. It doesn't. And that's why I believe you cannot get mad at this dude. Because despite what the general consensus is, despite what people believe in society, like, oh, this is my kid, don't put your hand up, blah, 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 blah. You know what I believe? If you don't care enough about your child so he's not in a dangerous situation where he's stealing from people and out in the streets, should that even be your child anymore? Because you obviously failed him. Then you could hit me with all these excuses like, blah, 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 I go to work, I can barely see my blah, blah. But at the end of the day, these are all excuses, and this doesn't equate to the type of life your child might be living, the road they're going down. This is really just a cycle, an endless cycle of shitty parenting, and it's sad because it's all about the environment we're all raised in. It's ignorance, the act of not learning, not knowing, and it's sad because you can't make people learn. They'll only learn if they want to. Most people think they're the best parents on earth, so do you think they're going to try and be better? Learn? No. And that's why I do give this guy his props, because he recognizes this cycle. And it's a cycle that people like us are far too familiar with. But this isn't exclusive to the black community, but it does happen a lot for us. With no guidance and no structure in your life, when you're lost, you're going to find yourself in some scary places. You can fall down into that scary abyss and never climb out of it. And this applies to everyone. And it all starts with one criminal act. then you'll be labeled and you can't do anything with your life. It's hard enough as it is in society for your average black man because of our skin color, and that's just sad. But now you're of this skin color and then you're a criminal. At that point, you go from a human being to a percentage. How are you going to get a job now? Now, what if you get killed in that abyss? Why does it have to happen to our people? It's painful because we can all do better. And in this situation, it really just boiled down to the fact that because someone else wasn't being a good parent, somebody else had to be a parent for this child. Now, next time you see something like this and get upset, I want you to really think about what's going on here. When you stay in your comfort zone, your own little world, you might miss the bigger picture. Now, with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.